Okay, so let's start this journey. The first lesson we have to learn is, where in the world does the idea to commit crowd murder come from in the lives of these boys and these men? Most of these boys, by the time they show up here and cross this threshold to commit murder, the idea has festered in their mind for a long time. Some it's 2 days, some it's 2 years, some it's 2 months, some it's 2 weeks. We just don't know. There are so many moving parts in this equation that put a killer here in this situation, in this area, in this zone, mentally, physically, spiritually. It's kind of like the chicken and the egg thing. Which came first, the chicken or the egg? So it is with shooters. Which came first, the pain or the desire to murder? Or are they both just the same thing? Is it the childhood that's trying to commit the murder, or the murder that's trying to erase the pain of childhood? There's so many moving parts in this thing that I have to literally break it down in so many different lessons, and I have to do this. It's going to be labor intensive, because crowd murder is labor intensive. By the time someone gets to this position right here, where they have taken an assault rifle and 200 rounds of armor-piercing bullets and have shown up here, these murder missiles have flown the silo. There's no calling them back. They're way past being negotiated with. The diplomacy factor is gone. There's no reasoning with them. There's no reaching out and touching them. That's why it amazes me the stealth that these kids are able to actually move in. Because, you know, teenagers like to talk. They like to brag, but you never hear a peep out of these guys. Rarely will you ever see any pictures of them at the range practicing with their weapons, and you'll never see them hardly ever practicing in front. Like Klebold and Harris, they had a few videos of them out in the woods, the Columbine shooters out in the woods shooting some pistols, the same ones that they would use eventually. But other than that, there's maybe a Facebook post every now and then on the way to the scene of the crime. But yet these kids are able to move in with such efficiency. It's as if a commando team were dropped in, and they were able to get the numbers that they were after, to accomplish the things that they were able to accomplish. And I'm going to go into that a little bit more detail, how they are able to accomplish these atrocities with such accuracy, and with such venom, and with such a forethought, and get the tragic results that they do. By the time a school shooter gets to this point right here and crosses this threshold and comes up with that assault rifle and begins to blast away, this is something that has festered in his mind for a long time. It is an obsession, almost like a lover. He goes to bed thinking about it. He wakes up thinking about it. It's in his mind. He takes every precaution he can to not alert all the prying eyes of the world that are trying to find him, that are looking for kids like him or men like him. And yet he's able to hide in plain sight, hide amongst his own classmates. They never see it coming. We never see it coming until it comes, and it happens, and they either are killed or they're captured and lawyer up, and then we never hear another peep out of them. Again, I'm hesitant to do this because I know that all the keyboard cowards are going to come out and they're going to have all of this negative garbage to say about me, but I really don't care. I know what I am. I know who I am and what I'm capable of doing. I know what I've done. I know that at one time I had every cop in the city of Atlanta looking for me. I'm told I had the FBI's Violent Crimes Task Force chasing me across rock and water to stop or kill me. My resume speaks for itself. I could give you one or two names of people that are notorious people that I rub shoulders with and actually buddies with at a time in my life, in my criminal career. I've been present when extreme acts of violence took place. I understand and I have a comprehension of it. And I understand that by the time they get to this place, the shooter gets to this point of commitment, he has already left all moral fiber, every thread of morality that has been tied to him. He's severed it. He's flying alone. He's sold out. He's either getting off the ride or he's doing this for the sake of a high body count. And there's just so much that has to be explained that puts a shooter right here. And so I'm going to take the time. This is the first lesson, is explaining the idea to murder, where it comes from, how it's planted into the soil of these people's minds, often as far back as the crib, and then fed and festered and matured and nurtured along. This seed of violence that becomes a harvest of violence, a tragic harvest of violence. So that's enough for now. We're going to go ahead and get out of here before the cops are called. But what we're going to do is I'm going to take you on this journey. It's going to be labor intensive, and you're going to have to really bear with me, because there's a lot of facts that have to be covered. But for now, that's it, and we'll pick this up later.